Watching this video, you too have come to find a problem with your idler pulley bolt. Now this is the bolt that holds the idler pulley in place that is connected to a bracket on your mower deck. As you can see, I've taken my deck off of the mower to be able to work on it effectively. But basically what happened with my idler pulley bolt was as I was mowing, I felt something come loose and then heard the basically the pulley completely come off of the bolt. And so the pulley and the bearings and everything else just kind of came apart, and so it came off, found it in the yard. So I went to figure out how in the world do I fix this and put it on, because my bolt was sheared, as you can see right here, completely sheared off. The pulley did, and so I knew that I couldn't use the bolt again. So I had to figure out, okay, what is my best option? So option was two things, as I found out later. One is John Deere makes a full replacement for this, but as you know and can tell, the bracket itself is welded onto the mower deck, and then this bolt is welded onto the bracket. And so one option that John Deere gave was to be able to, you'd have to cut the bracket off and replace the bracket, which screws on, but the bolt is still welded to John Deere's bracket. So I didn't want to do that, and so I poked around on the internet, looked at all the options, looked at a couple of forums, really no good solution, and decided that after seeing a couple of videos that weren't done to get the specs that I needed them, I decided that my best option was to go ahead and cut this bolt off, which I did, and you can tell, and to replace this whole bolt. Very unique, and this bolt, the uniqueness of it is you've got to have something that goes into the bearing that allows the bearing to spin, but also holds it at the same height as these other pulleys, so your belt can circle around your pulleys effectively. So anyhow, I'm about to walk through what I did and give you some specifics about what I used to let you know how best to fix this if you don't want to replace the whole bracket. Alright guys, so let me talk in detail about what I've done to engineer this. Basically what I ended up doing is buying a new flat idler pulley online. You can get these for about, I don't know, I think this was like 12 bucks or so online on Amazon. And then I went to the hardware store, went to Tractor Supply, and actually got, these are 3/8 inch washers. They're grade 8, so they're going to be hard, solid washers, won't bend or shape. Bought a good solid bolt. This is a 3/8 inch hex cap, screw, and basically it's 2.5 inches. And then I bought a little stop nut I can put on there. So the first thing I did is I also bought a 3/8 inside diameter fuel line hose. And this right here, what I found, it fits down into the bearing, and so it provides a gap in that bearing that you need to make sure that it doesn't shake, because if you just put your 3/8 inch screw in there, it would just wiggle around and it wouldn't be stable. So I found that the hose actually stabilizes, and so I cut off a little section, as you can see, of the hose and put it onto the screw, the bolt. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stack five of these washers right there, and then I will put my pulley on top of those washers, and then I'll put the screw down through and into the thing. Now, as you can tell, there's wiggle in it, but once I screw this sucker down, and the washers will hit the bearing, hold the bearing down on both sides, The reason I put 5 up underneath here is because it is the same height basically as the bolt that was on there. So that little area there that held the washer, so it's going to be basically the same height for your belt to go around your idler pulley. And so I'll screw this down, lock it down with the stop nut on there, and should be good to go. Alright guys, one last video here just to show you the finished product. The idler pulley is on. One thing I didn't mention that I should have, as you can tell up underneath there, I did stack several washers up underneath the bracket just to give a little less space to for the bolt to go on. And so here's the finished product. Should install and be good to go. Saved about $65 for the bracket. Those are $65 to $75 online. Buying a new pulley, those cost you about 20-something dollars, and then all those nuts and the tubing stuff were about 10 bucks. So anyhow, that is how you fix it, and hope this helps. Have a good one.